I genuinely believe that life is too short and too precious to spend your days, your weeks, your months, your years, your decades in places that slowly kill your soul, friends. That doesn't mean everything has to be easy all the time. It doesn't mean you give up on things just because they're difficult. It doesn't mean every day has to feel magical or amazing. But there's a big difference between, man, this is a hard day, this was challenging, and this is hollowing me out. There is zero soul in this for me. Like, there's a big difference between those two things. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Life Reset Collective. My name is Josh, and today I want to talk about something very important, but very powerful, very quiet, something that I don't think people talk about very much. And in our culture, something I think people disregard too often. And that is that moment when your soul just isn't in it anymore. When you no longer are passionate about it, when you no longer believe in it, whether it be a job, a relationship, a living place, whatever it is, there comes a point sometimes where you just realize, I don't believe in this. I don't believe in the direction this is going in. I don't believe this is going to work or be successful. I think this is unsustainable. I just don't care about this. I just don't believe in it. I don't honestly want to be a part of it anymore, right? There's a moment where, you may not necessarily feel angry. It may not be explosive, but you probably feel just tired and done with it. And if you're here right now, there's a good chance you know exactly what I mean. So I just want to tell you really quick, the mission of this channel is to help people who are going through a life reset. If you have gone through a life reset, which means you have had disaster and you have just hit the bottom and you're trying to climb back up and rebuild your life, friends, that's what this channel is here for. We provide real hope, help, practical steps, encouragement, motivation to people rebuilding and on their life reset journey. I myself have been through 2 complete life resets, both times due to divorce, but that's not the only reason you might go through one. So if you've gone through something and you're basically resetting your life, you're in the right place. I'm glad you are here. So let's start off by naming the feeling, okay? Sometimes it's a job, sometimes it's a relationship, sometimes it's a house, a city, or a season of life that slowly starts to feel heavy. But you might wake up, go through the motions, do what you're supposed to do, and inside you just feel really off. It may not be a dramatic feeling. You may just feel really drained, like your spirit is slowly being sanded down. And here's the thing, that feeling matters. It's not a feeling of weakness. That's actually information coming to you from your body. Your nervous system is telling you the truth before your brain catches up. And sometimes we don't like to realize that this is happening, but we may actually have reached a point where with something in our life, whatever it is that's causing us feeling, we have realized, like I said before, we don't care about it anymore. We don't believe in it anymore. It is starting to be a soul killing, a slow soul death, continuing to try to force ourselves to care about this. Personally, right now, I'm going through this with my job. I'm grateful for my job. It's a great job, but it is a job that is not a forever job. And the longer I'm there, the more I'm realizing it's time to cut loose from that and to set sail on my own adventures as an entrepreneur. It's time to get back to this. I had to take a break from this during my last divorce because I had bills to pay. The business wasn't at a place yet where it could sustain that. And, sometimes life happens. Sometimes you have to do things for a while that you don't necessarily love the idea of. And while I'm so grateful for the job, it is true that my soul is slowly being eroded by it, okay? And you're probably in a similar situation in your life. If you're watching this video, it might be because you are thinking about this too. Now, I genuinely believe that life is too short and too precious to spend your days, your weeks, your months, your years, your decades in places that slowly kill your soul, friends. That doesn't mean everything has to be easy all the time. It doesn't mean you give up on things just because they're difficult. It doesn't mean every day has to feel magical or amazing. But there's a big difference between, man, this is a hard day, this was challenging, and this is hollowing me out. There is zero soul in this for me. Like, there's a big difference between those two things. And when something starts hollowing you out, that's your signal, friends. That's your signal that it's probably time to start navigating, planning a change, planning an exit. Okay. Now, here's another part of this. Leaving isn't always just enough. You have to leave wisely. This is like the counterpoint to this. If you have like unlimited money and it doesn't matter, then yeah, you could leave today. You could just say, screw you. That's why they say like rich people have F you money. They can just say F you and leave whenever they want if something becomes like too much BS. But for those of us in the real world who are not rich and we're not independently wealthy, we have to sometimes strategically calculate these things and be wise about things like where we're going to live, how we're going to pay our bills, especially if it's related to a job, or if you're in a relationship with someone and leaving means you have to change your living space. It's going to change your income. Maybe you did have a dual income. You're going to go down to a single income, whatever it is, right? So I see people do this all the time. They hit a breaking point and then they quit impulsively. They leave impulsively. They blow up their relationship. They burn the bridges. They jump without a plan. And while I understand this, the unfortunate truth is they land in chaos. And that's not necessarily the best way to navigate a life reset. That's just trauma with slightly different labels, okay? So the real crossroads looks like this. On one side, I realize my soul cannot stay here. That's a very real truth, very valid truth. But on the other side, it is, I need to be wise about how I navigate this transition. Both can be very true, right? And it's really important that we navigate this carefully, but we also be honest and true to ourselves while it's happening. And I'm going to be super honest with you about the way that I conceptualize this, the way I've learned to conceptualize this through two major life resets. First of all, I'm in a job that my soul isn't in anymore, okay? Not because the people are evil, not because I'm angry at anybody. It's not even that the job's a bad job. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just not where I'm meant to be, man. And I know that in my soul, and I feel it, and I've felt this enough times to know when I'm feeling it. This isn't where I was meant to land and stay in my life, okay? But I'm not just walking out either, because I got to be responsible. I've got kids, I've got pets, I've got bills to pay, right? So I'm building income streams. I'm doing the math. I'm creating a transition plan. I'm giving plenty of notice. I'm setting up timelines so I don't blow up relationships and burn bridges and leave people in a lurch, right? Because freedom without structure quickly turns into panic, and that's not what we want. And structure without soul turns into a cage, friends. We don't want either. We don't want to be stuck in a cage where we're trapped in a soulless environment, but we also don't want to burn everything around us as we exit, leaving chaos in our wake, right? There's a lot of reasons for this, partly for our own safety, but also partly because you never know when you might want to or need to return there for a season. And you might leave yourself with no options there if you burn it down before you leave, right? So here's the life reset philosophy and how it kind of taps into this. A real wise strategic life reset will basically look like this. You should listen to your soul about this matter, and then you should bring wisdom with you as you prepare your exit. If your soul is telling you, friend, we can't stay here, you should honor it, and you should start immediately making plans to change it. But you do need to bring your wisdom, your strategy, your intentionality with you. Don't ignore that aching feeling inside of you, that empty feeling, but also don't abandon yourself financially, emotionally, or practically. You need to build the bridge before crossing the river. This will save you so much time and effort and will actually help you to get to where you want to be faster, even if it doesn't feel like it. This might mean saving up some money, learning some new skills, growing something on the side, having hard conversations with people, setting a future exit date. Sometimes you need to keep that exit date to yourself. Like if you're in a relationship and it might be dangerous to tell your partner you plan on leaving in 6 months, you may not be able to do that. You may have to keep it under your coat while you prepare and save and strategize. And that is okay. Sometimes, friends, survival demands that we keep things to ourselves. We just have to be wise and discerning about that. It's not glamorous. Sometimes it feels very agonizingly slow. Sometimes it feels really quiet. Sometimes you want to be talking about this with people. Drop a comment. You can talk to me about it. That's what this channel is for. But I understand if in your own life, it feels like, oh man, I can't get anywhere. That's a very normal feeling in these times. But trust me, spend time every day planning, building toward it, make forward progress, and eventually it really will work. You will get there. You just got to make that plan. Your plan's going to also adapt as you go, man. So if your soul isn't in it anymore, I also want you to hear this. You are allowed to change your life in whatever way you feel like you need to. You're allowed to outgrow places. You're allowed to choose yourself. You're allowed to walk towards something better. Just do it with care. Do it with intention. Do it with respect for your future self, and with respect to what you're going to need to make this journey survivable for you, friend. And in closing, there's a couple more things I want to say that are really important. If you're standing at that crossroads right now, you are not alone. That's what this channel's for. We talk about rebuilding here. We talk about life resets. We talk about resetting your life, building the next chapter. We talk about becoming human again. Friend, you deserve a new chapter. You deserve happiness. You deserve paradise at the end of that climb, and you can get it. No hype, no guru stuff here. We're all just real people making brave, thoughtful changes every single day. And sometimes they're not hard, hence the brave. Or I'm sorry, sometimes they're not easy, hence the brave part, right? But if this helped, I want you to stick around. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and leave a comment. Help me not only grow this channel, but also help me connect with you. And let's talk further in the comments. You don't have to burn everything down to start your next chapter. Sometimes the strongest reset is a quiet, well-planned departure, and that sets you up the best for the next best chapter yet. All right, that's all I have to say on this one. Thank you so much for coming back to the Life Reset Collective. My name is Josh. I'll see you awesome people on the next one.